Hello, everyone. Welcome to Discussion Politics, where we talk about news, media, and public policy. Today, I'm just going to be talking about the presidential rankings that were recently released by C-SPAN. They ranked the entire presidential system from 1 to 45, and this time they included the recent President Trump into the ranking system, he and I'm going to go over the ranks that each president either went up or went down. So basically, what changed was the Donald Trump landed on the number 41 spot on the list. He ranked highly for public persuasion and economic management. He also, that's pretty much it. He was in front of Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, and Andrew Johnson. Those two Civil War presidents who presided over the Civil War in between Lincoln, when Lincoln was in the middle of the Civil War, is when those two presidents were the worst ones for the time being. Adding on top of that, Franklin Pierce was a pretty bad president as well, and he's behind Trump, and Trump is in front of those three presidents. And so, surprisingly, he's in front of a couple of presidents. I was thinking he was going to be on the 44th spot, but he landed on 41, and that's pretty surprising. Next, we have Ulysses S. Grant, and Grant was originally in 2000 the number 33rd spot, if I recall correctly. He is currently now the 20th spot. So he changed, he went up plus 13 on the presidential rankings. And that's a huge sign for lots of people who are Grant fans and Grant stands. He's a Civil War veteran, and he actually was a general. So he worked under Lincoln in this administration, and I think he deserves that bump up in the ranking. On top of that, we have William J. Clinton, who actually went down a couple spots. I think he's at 19, which is to be expected. He ranks highly for economic management based on 1990 to 1999 economic system. During that time, the economy went really high at that moment, and it was economic success for the nation, as well as many people who thought Clinton was a charismatic president. The other president that changed in the ranking was George W. Bush, who actually increased by a couple of spots as well. Of course, the original presidents, Lincoln, Washington, and Roosevelt, were the top three, and those consistently stayed the same throughout the years. And that makes sense because those presidents definitely were regarded at the time by scholars, historians, and many other people as the greatest of all time from out of any president. And that's great to see. And I'm trying to think of other changes on that list that C-SPAN released, but what they did was their methodology was this. They gathered about 144 historians, and they all, have a methodology of how they connect to these surveys. They have these surveys, and they all contribute to these surveys, and they conglomerate them and gather them up, collect them all into a list, and then the list comes out. And they actually have they have a couple categories. I think it's around eight categories where they rank them. What it's moral persuasion, crisis leadership, leadership in the context of times. There are so many different ways that they actually link those two, link the presidents and the categories together in order to figure out an exact ranking system, which usually ends up being accurately depicted by the historian survey, as far as I can recall. And on top of that, there are many disagreements. You know, the top 10, you need all the number 10 spot. Barack Obama made the number 10 spot despite all the hate that he got. Plus, Barack Obama surpassed LBJ on the list because originally LBJ was number 10 and then Obama was number 12 and he surpassed him and he's currently now number 10. And so he is officially in the top 10 ranking as presidents. And that's a huge accomplishment. And I think that's great. The relations with Congress improved. The score for the relations of Congress improved from 2017 to 2021, looking back at the way that Obama communicated with Congress and communicated with the public. His public persuasion and moral authority was really high. Equal justice for all, of course, was really high as well because of the fact he pursued criminal justice reform, and that's also a big accomplishment by his administration. You know, there was the Great Recession, and so Obama's accomplishments stay there, and it's a matter of historically viewing that presidential term and seeing what happened during that time and evaluating the consequences for that particular time in history and seeing how they correlate to the modern contemporary times and the presidents we have now. And so correlating those two times, equates to a bump up in the score and the rankings on the list. So now he's number 10. And of course, number 4 is Teddy Roosevelt. Number 5 is Ike. Number 6 is Truman. Number 7, the list goes on and on. You can check it out. It's on cspan.org. But that's the list that I wanted to talk about today. And thank you all for watching. Have a great day.